Florence Nightingale, and I have come here today to tell you a little bit about my life. So I think I should probably start at the very, very beginning. Now I wonder, can you tell me in which year I was born? Well, I was born in 1820, which was in fact 200 years ago. So I think I'm doing all right for 200 really. Now I wonder, can you tell me where I was born? I wasn't born in a hospital. I wasn't born in London. I was born in Italy, in a place called Florence. You see, my parents were feeling rather lazy when they named me, and they simply named me after the place I was born. So Florence was born in Florence. Now I had one sister, and she had rather a complicated name. My sister was called Parthenope. Can you say Parthenope? Can you say Parthenope 3 times, one after the other, as quickly as you can? Ready? Go. Marvellous. Well, as you have just discovered, Parthenope is quite the mouthful. So rather than tiring myself out by going Parthenope, Parthenope, Parthenope all of the time, I gave my sister a nickname. I would call my darling sister Pop. Can you do that? With the actions. Pop. Marvellous. Now, after I was born, my family travelled from Italy back home to England, where we had not just one, but 2 very large houses. My houses were so large that they had their own names. One of them was called Embley Park, and the other was called Lea Hurst. Now it may shock you, but I was not allowed to go to school. Can you imagine? Do you know why I couldn't go to school? Have a guess. I was very wealthy, so it wasn't because we couldn't afford to send me to school. Schools had been invented then, so it wasn't because they didn't exist. Put your hand up if you are a girl. That's right. I was not allowed to go to school because girls were not allowed to go to school. People thought girls weren't clever enough to go to school. Is that true? A girl's not clever enough to go to school? No, of course. Girls are just as clever, if not more so, than boys. Now, don't be troubled. You see, my father thought it was very silly that girls couldn't go to school, and he decided he would teach Pop and I at home. We would be homeschooled. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life, and I was wandering around Embley Park when I stopped by a tree to read a book. And as I read, I felt that God spoke to me and told me what to do. I would be a nurse. My family did not want me to be a nurse. You see, when I was young, nurses were not the sort of people you think of today. You see, nurses were rather rude. They weren't very clean, and most shockingly of all, they drank alcohol. Can you imagine nurses today drinking alcohol? Really?
Ugh.
Now, my family did not want somebody as respectable and educated as me being something as lowly as a nurse. My family decided to send me on holiday so I would forget that I wanted to be a nurse. Do you think I forgot? Well, of course not. Whilst I was away, I studied nursing in secret. I went to all sorts of places. I went to France. I went to Italy. I went to Greece. And I went to Egypt. When I was in Greece, I was wandering around a place called Athens, and I heard a little noise. I heard a little hoot. Can you go twit-twoo? Lovely. Well, I heard that noise, and when I looked down, I saw a tiny little owl who had fallen from her nest, being bullied by a group of school children. So I decided to rescue her. And because I found her in Athens, I named her Athena. So you see, I was just as lazy as my parents when it came to naming things. When I got back from my holiday, I asked my family again if I could please be a nurse. And this time, they said yes. So I went to Germany, where I studied nursing for 3 months. That's right. And when I came back, I had my first real nursing job in London on Harley Street. Now, the Crimean War started out between 2 countries. I wonder, do you know either of them? No, not chicken. Turkey. So when I say Turkey, can you please flap your wings and go gobble gobble like a turkey? Ready? Turkey. And there was, of course, another country. This country was very, very large. This country was called, that's right, Russia. So Russia is full of lots and lots of bears. So when I say Russia, can you go like a bear? Ready? Russia. Marvellous. Now let's put that all together. So, fighting in the Crimean War were 2 countries. The first country was Turkey. And the second country? Russia. Turkey. Russia. Russia. Turkey. Turkey, Russia, Turkey, Russia. Very good indeed. Now, in 1854, 2 countries came to help out. Great Britain and France came to help out. We sent 30,000 soldiers to Crimea. 30,000. But you see, the thing is, we didn't have very many boats, and the boats that we did have were rather small. So there was only room for a few doctors, not much medicine, and most shockingly of all, no nurses.
Dear Florence, I hope you are well. As you know, our troops are suffering under terrible conditions in Crimea. Scutari Hospital is making them more poorly than the war is. Would you be able to train and recruit a team of nurses to come and help? Yours faithfully, Sir Sidney Herbert, General Secretary of War.
Well, of course I said yes to Sydney. I had to go and help. This was my duty, my calling. So I searched far and wide, and Pop and I found a team of 38 nurses. So come along, we can't waste any time. Now that I've got my team of nurses together, it's time to set off on our journey. Now, we did the first part of our journey by horse and carriage. And then we got to the sea. Now, how do you think we crossed the sea? No, we didn't swim. We took a boat. So, quickly now, no time to waste, all aboard. I'd like you to join me on the boat. Make sure you've got your life jacket on, very good. And we are going to set sail with the ship this way. So, rocking over to this side of the waves, and this side, and over we go. And it has been lovely weather for sailing. Oh, look, there's a lovely seagull over there. Oh, goodness me. Oh, no, I am very sorry. But coming towards us is a great, big, gigantic storm now. So we're going to walk very quickly this way, and that way, and this way. Oh, I get terribly seasick. I don't... Do forgive me. I get terribly seasick. If you get seasick, please do go over the edge of the boat. Thank you. Good goodness. What is this? I can see Scutari Hospital in the distance. We have made it. So, take a moment to dust yourself off and make sure you look presentable. Then you are going to reach out in front of you very slowly and find the door to the hospital. When you've found the door, give it a little push. See if it creaks open. Now, when you get inside the hospital, it is very, very dark. So you need to squint your eyes so you can see anything, and you have to feel your way as you go. But I would like you to take in a big sniff. Ready? Oh dear, oh goodness me, it does not smell very nice in this hospital, that's for sure. It smells like all sorts of horrible Goodness me. I think I just saw something scurry past. I think I just saw a rat. Can you do some rat whiskers? And some scary rat teeth? Oh, goodness me, that is frightening. My word, nurses, we have got a rat infestation. Now, as your eyes get used to the darkness, give them a blink, and you can start to look around. And you notice there's somebody lying on the floor. And there's somebody lying on the floor over there. And there's somebody the soldiers. These poor soldiers have been hurt at war and don't have any beds to sleep on. Can you imagine? And what did we just see scurrying past? Rats. These soldiers are lying on the floor with rats running past them. Now, I must apologise because I'm about to talk to you about something that is not very polite at all. I'm afraid I am going to have to talk to you about the toilets. In the modern day, when you use the facilities, you have got a lovely seat to sit on. You've got lots of wonderful toilet paper to use, and when you've finished doing your business, you have got a flush to press. And then, of course, you wash your hands. Now, in Scutari Hospital, the toilet did not have a seat. The toilet did not have a flush. The toilet didn't even have any toilet paper. The toilet was nothing more than a hole in the floor. And this hole in the floor had started to get rather full up. And things inside this hole had started to pile up. And to pile up. And pile up. And come out of the hole and all over the floor. And who did we see sleeping on the floor? The soldiers. These poor soldiers had to sleep on the floor with rats running past them. They were eating mouldy food, stale bread, meat with maggots in. And they were lying in poo and wee. It is terribly important to wash your hands. I am going to start by running the tap and getting my hands nice and wet. Now something's missing. Soap. So I'm going to get a nice lather of soap on my hands. Then I'm going to lie one hand flat and place the other hand on top and wash in between my fingers. Then we swap. Next, I am going to give myself a high five and squish my fingers all together. Next, I'm going to make a duck. Give it a quack. Take the beak of your duck and rub it around and around in a circle. Which part of our hand are we cleaning here? The palm. And at the end of your duck's beak is your fingernails. So make another duck with another quack, and around we go again. Now give me a thumbs up. Loosely twist your thumb with your other hand. And swap. So thumbs up and twist, twist, get that soap lovely and rubbed in. Then we're going to make sure we have washed the sides of our hands. They're very often forgot. And last of all, our wrists. Make sure we've got all the way up and then give everything a good rinse. Once you've done that, shake them off. Take a lovely clean towel and give them a good dry. Now, show me your hands. Oh, lovely. They look so wonderfully clean. The conditions at Scutari were just awful. So I knew just what to do. I set my nurses to work and we started to clean the place up. We swept the floors, we mopped the floors, we painted the walls, opened the windows, we gave the soldiers healthy food to eat. After some time and some hard work, things started to improve, and the soldiers started to get better. I believed no man should die alone. So every night, when my nurses went to bed, I walked with my lamp to light my way, to check each and every one of them was all right. They began to call me the lady with the lamp. Now my lamp looks a little different to what you'd expect. My lamp has actually got its own name. This is called a fanus. Can you say fanus? Marvellous. In 1856, the war came to an end. Which war was that? The Crimean War. And it was time for me to go home. Unfortunately, whilst I was in Crimea, I had become terribly poorly, and this meant I had to spend much of the rest of my time stuck in bed. Now, do you think because I was stuck in bed unwell, I just gave up? No, of course not. I started to write, and I wrote over 200 books and pamphlets, including my very famous Notes on Nursing. I also looked at the design and the layout of hospitals, including St Thomas's Hospital in London. And finally, I started my very own nurse training school, the Nightingale School for Nurses. Now, my Nightingale School for Nurses is still around today. It's part of King's College in London. And many nurses all over the world have been influenced by my work. And I would like to say a great big thank you to all those nurses and midwives and doctors and surgeons and healthcare assistants helping us through these difficult times. Will you say a thank you to them too? Oh, lovely. Now that is all I've got time for today, I'm afraid. My name is Florence Nightingale, and thank you for listening to me.